Good morning, Sharon. Oh, loud noise. Loud noise alert. Loud noise alert. Sorry about that. Forgot that I turned down the mic. Good morning. From Idaho Falls. I have been to Idaho Falls, Sharon, many, 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 many times. Good morning, Pippa Dot. Wow. I don't know if you caught last week's show and rewind, Pippa Dot, but there are quite a few people wondering how you're doing, if you're doing well. I hope you are doing well. Kevin Brand from South Carolina. Good morning, Kevin. And Kitty Q. Good morning, Kitty Q. I hope we all had a pleasant week. Kitty Q emailed and called you. We all hope that, when people who are normally here and part of our lives in these streams, when they disappear. I'm going back to the hospital today. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Pippa Dot. Well, I hope the best for you. Good morning, Sprinkled Donut. So as you guys all see right here, this is an actual book. It's a physical book. You can on murder houses. Let me move that back into the screen there. This is written by a YouTuber. His name is right here, Steve Leto. He's an attorney at law who practices law in the state of Michigan, and he has written kind of an eclectic. If you look at the entire catalog of books that he has written, he's written about the turbine car. He's written about the Superbird, and this one is on American murder houses. And it's completely optional. You don't have to, but I mean, I'm interested in the subject, and I've actually completed and I've read this book. It's a great book. It's really well written. I do not make anything from it. And yeah, I know that is a very long link, but it's a clickable link. You can go to the Amazon. You can get it. It's like $17 for the book there, but and it is available. Of 17, 16.50, something like that for the book, and free shipping obviously if you have Prime. But I just want to tell people about the book. And good morning, Francie and Gemma. Good morning. Nice to see you. Yeah, but we worry when people, that who are normally here part of their lives, Pippa Dot, don't show up. We're like, hey, I hope they're doing well. I'll order that today. Why not? I mean, it's a great book. The ones that the link, if you click on the link that I have there, it has a slightly different cover. This is the special edition one that he sent out to people who are on his channel. But if you're interested in lemon law, that's where his main practice is in lemon law in the state of Michigan. He sues automakers for cars that need to be returned back. But I actually got an autographed copy of the book. Oh, that's all right, Pippa Dot. It's all right. I just hope that your health improves. That's what's all important to everyone. Your health improves. But you can get it. It does. This book does come in audio form, but he doesn't narrate the audio book. But if you want to, again, his channel name is Steve Leto on YouTube. If you want to check out his YouTube channel, and he goes live every Sunday morning. and he just has like a general chat and answers questions. Allah Akbar. Allah is the light. Allah Akbar. Well, thank you, Gemma. Okay, so this morning's we're going to see on the screen. I tried to change the actual format just a little bit because I've received some feedback from people that said that when I put white letters on a background, that it was hard for them to read. So I tried to highlight each and everything with a black letter with a white background within an actual border that's black. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But it was harder for some people. And it's more than one. It's about 7 people total reached out to me that it was hard for them to read the content that way and follow along with what I was actually sharing in the format that I had. So I'm trying something new to see if it's a little bit easier to read for them, because that was kind of feedback that I got. It was, can I get black letters with a white background? So, all right. Good morning, Inner Peas. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I hope you had a great week. Coffee Brew Crime in Chat, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I'm talking about with black letters and white background. So, bite me. A priest was arrested after allegedly biting a woman during a communion at Central Florida Church. Officers from the St. Cloud Police Department in Florida arrested a priest identified as Father Fidel after he allegedly had an altercation with a woman during Mass, according to local news sites WFTV and WKMG TV and WDBO. According to the outlets, police have recommended that Fidel be charged with battery. All right, so he was arrested for allegedly for the altercation at the church after communion. Father from the St. Cloud Police Department, Florida, was arrested, identified as Father Fidel after he allegedly had an altercation with a woman in Mass, according to local news sites. And according to outlets, police have recommended Fidel be charged with battery. The incident happened at St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church at around 1:20 p.m. local time. According to charging affidavits obtained by WKMG TV. And incidentally, side note, my friend used to work for WKMG TV, but now he is with Channel 7 in the same area. Police said the woman had attended Mass to participate in her niece's communion. But when she had gone up to receive the bread, the priest allegedly refused to give her it to her, claiming that she hadn't completed the necessary steps to get it. However, the woman told the priest that she had done so and was now accepted by God. And the priest became upset and tried to stuff the bread in her mouth. Per the affidavit obtained by WKMG TV, the woman then tried to grab another piece in his hand, and when she allegedly grabbed her and bit her arm, per the outlet news. All right, next one. She was mad and said, "Bite me." I guess he did. He did, Mike. All right, this is a story that's been all over the news about the 2 missing women. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly were found dead in April, leading to multiple charges against Tiffany Adams and Tad Burt Cullum and Cole Tumbley, Cora Timbley, and Paul Grice, the 2 women who were allegedly killed over a custody battle by a grandmother and her friend, who were reportedly found in a chest or freezer buried on the property leased by one of the alleged murderers. Veronica Butler, 27, and Jillian Kelly, 39, disappeared in March in rural Oklahoma while on their way to pick up the Butler's children from their grandmother, Tiffany Adams. who would later be accused of murdering the two. On April 15th, the Adams 54, alongside her boyfriend Tad Burt Collum 43 and Cole Earl Tumbley 50 and Cora Tumbley 44, each of the suspects is charged with murder and kidnapping in connection with the deaths of the women. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation said at the time. Days later, authorities arrested a fifth suspect, Paul Grice, in connection with the killings, according to ABC 7. That's where my friend works now. And KOCO reportedly at the time. All five of the alleged members of God's Misfits, which authorities claim is a fringe anti-government religious group. And they are listed by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a cult. God's Misfits. They are well known by the federal government. The official Facebook group, the group denounces the murder in a statement following the arrest. Search warrants reviewed by the local news outlets. Authorities say that they found the woman's body in a Chester freezer on the property leased by Cullum, a few miles away from where Butler's abandoned car was found. News Channel 10, KTUL, and KATV reported. The freezer was discovered by investigators a day after they executed the search warrant on the property. Channel 10 reports citing the warrant's documents. Authorities reportedly found other items along the freezer that didn't belong to either the victim, per the warrant, which was published by Channel 10 News. The two allegedly confessed to their role in the murders. According to the court records, neither has an attorney of record listed as of 5/19 of 2024. Plea information for the accused was not available on online court records. AP News wasn't immediately reach the attorneys listed as court on the court documents. There are two people who are listed, and I know that sounds confusing, and let me explain. Neither one of them have an attorney. These two here have an attorney of record that is going to be standing in for them at their pleading agreements, and therefore, forward. Court-appointed attorneys, most likely, because neither one of them have much. But there was two attorneys who are listed on the actual arrest because both of them had, when arrested, had pleaded that they were being arrested and persecuted for religious indifference or differences or something to that effect. So the court did reach out to two attorneys to find out what the legal ramification is and what they needed to do for their religious, being arrested and being held religiously. What kind of areas they needed to watch out for to not trespass upon their religious freedoms. So, but those two attorneys, according to the AP, are not the attorneys of record for either of them. They were just attorneys that they reached out to make sure that they didn't violate their rights to religious freedoms. All right, next, meth and rotten vegetables. The shipment was found in a commercial tractor trailer being driven by a 44-year-old man on Monday evening. The CBT officers at the Otay Mesa port in San Diego, California, encountered the man. They requested his truck undergo further examination, the agency said. After scans of the tractor trailer detected irregularities, a K9 team responded and alerted officers to the presence of narcotics. In that box you see there in the picture, that is zucchini, and the big package is nothing but green-colored methamphetamines. A ton of it. Well, 11,469 pounds to be precise. $18 million. Not just this box, but every box had a bag of meth in it, just like this. But $18 million worth of methamphetamines were confiscated. All right, next, the man has been convicted of first-degree murder in the starvation death of his 6-year-old son. This is his biological son. He starved to death. In northern Arizona, a man was convicted Thursday of first-degree murder for crimes In 2020, starvation death of his 6-year-old son. Authorities say the boy, Deshaun Martinez, was locked in a tiny room closet for 16 hours a day every month with his older brother as punishment for stealing food in the home at night while their parents slept. The Coquino County Superior Court jury found 28-year-old Anthony Martinez guilty in the boy's death. Martinez was also convicted of 2 counts each of child abuse, kidnapping, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. His sentencing is coming up June 28th. If he wasn't convicted of the murder and starvation of his own child, all the additional charges would bring him a total of 24 and a half years to 29 and a half years. That is the standard sentencing range because he has prior convictions and his actual score on the scale for being a threat within the prison system, connections to known gangs, criminal history, and his propensity towards violence towards other people, which gave him a higher score. So 24 to 29 years. Add in the first degree murder charge, he is looking at life plus, it could be anywhere from, again, add 24 to 29 years on top of a natural life term. So 60 some years is what he is looking at approximately. How drunk is too drunk? This is Marcus Toms, aka Lucky Tom. Lucky Tom was arrested again recently for public intoxication and petty theft of less than $15. When booked into jail after a quick trip to the local hospital for blood work, his blood work came back that he was at a 0.68. I'm not shitting you guys. Look at that. 0.68. Might be wondering how did he get caught besides being too drunk. He went back to where he committed the crime looking for his keys. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, at a 0.68, he tested at the hospital, his blood draw. He drove to that store, committed the theft, and was looking for his keys so he could drive away. I don't know how drunk you have to be before you die, but damn, boy, 0.68 is what his blood alcohol is. 0.02 or 8 or whatever, it's something like that is like, I'm not 100% sure, but what the definition is for too drunk to drive, but I'm sure it's way less than that. I mean, the guy petrified himself. And good morning, Cement Shoes. I hope you had a wonderful week. Welcome to this morning's crime. All right. So this is a new feature that I've added in. I'm going to present you 2 stories. Okay, one of them is real, and one of them is 100% fake. Your job is to try to figure out which one of these 2 additional stories that I'm about to share with you is real, one's real, and which one is fake. And I will give you the actual total number of how many times each of these stories has been shared on social media. And I'm talking everywhere on social media, but I give you some actual examples of how much, how many times they've been shared and how much money people who actually shared these stories actually made off of them. Again, one is 100% fake and the other one is 100% real. It's your job to figure out which one is fake and which one is real. All right. But again, this is a new feature. So again, one of these is 100% real and the other one's fake. Is the first story a man ships his ex-wife boxes of fecal matter? Is that the real story? Or is a man ships a family of 4 $3,115 in small amounts by mistake, all in cash? And now let me tell you about the 2 stories. In 2020, a man from Dallas, Texas, sent his wife 3 different boxes using FedEx to ship her boxes of his own fecal matter he collected over the course of a day. As gross as it is, his ex-wife wasn't surprised by this, nor the act that she grossed out by it. She actually encouraged him to do so. Is this the fake or real story? And now for the second one. A man only known as Roger sent $3,115 in cash in small amounts using the United States Post Office over the course of 2 months. Each shipment of cash was never more than a couple $100s. None of the parcels had any communication, no letter, no reference to what it is, just a cash wrapped with a piece of paper wrapped around it. Turned out he did so by mistake. He shipped the cash to 8988 Connor Drive, but should have sent it to 8898, mixing the two numbers in the middle there up. Is this the real story or is this the fake one? Which story is real and which one is fake? Story number one was shared on Reddit and Facebook 5,219,883 times in the first 48 hours, with an estimate of over $7,000 in monetization for those who shared it. Story number two was shared on Reddit and on YouTube 5,754,012 times in the first 48 hours, with a monetization of over $12,000. So which one of the two stories is real? Again, one is 100% real and the other one is 100% fake. You got to decide, is it story number one or story number two? Which one is real? Put your guesses in the comment section. And Pippadot says, I think one is real. One of them is real. I'm going with the fake one and two real. One real because so weird, two fake. Mike is going with number two. Which one is real? I'm ordering the American Murder House book. Well, good. But again, you will see that it has a different cover. This is a special edition one that I have here. The other one has the Amityville Horror House on the top of the book. You know, the picture. Fake, one, two, real. All right. Let's find out which one is real. Is it number one or number two? The real story stinks. The man who shipped his ex-wife boxes of his fecal matter is real. He is a scientist stationed at Asland Bay, North Pole. He sent her samples because he was worried his cancer had returned, and there isn't anyone there who can test it. His ex-wife manages a lab in Los Angeles, California. And this is, again, the link, in case you missed it, in the comment section that I posted when the thread started for the book. So he is a colon cancer survivor, and he sent his wife samples of his fecal matter. Now, there's an actual test strip that you're supposed to use for this, but he didn't have them. So basically, he put his own fecal matter in a small cardboard box, and then put it in a larger box with packaging around it, and then shipped them from the North Pole all the way back to his actual ex-wife, who runs a medical laboratory where they could test the fecal matter to see if his colon cancer had returned. But that one is real. The other one is 100% fake, but again, shared over 5 million times on social media and earned money for people in monetization, talking about, the man who supposedly sent $3,000 to, the wrong address. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, right? It was cancer related. He was afraid that his cancer would come back. I tried to find an update if on that, if he actually does have cancer or what happened with him. But that's the story. The story ends at that point. Now, a lot of those who made TikTok videos and Instagram videos and YouTube videos on the supposed guy who sent $3,115 to the wrong address over the course of a couple of months, and that entire story, could not find anybody who ever did an update on that. I'm guessing that people still believe that that's real, that someone just started mailing, cash with no context to it at all. They probably still believe that those are real. The North Pole. Yeah. And I needed a ligament surgery. The surgeon then sent me and said that they were idiots. Hmm. I've had ligament replacement in my right knee. I had my ACL and my MCL replaced, or not ACL, no, MCL and PCL. Yeah, I think that's what it is. ACL, I think, is in your ankle, isn't it? Yeah, I tell you the truth, I've gotten so confused by all the different knee surgeries I've had. Since 722, severe gastrointestinal issues and distress. They're idiots. Maybe I'm dumb going to the same hospital. Pipodot, between my left knee and my right knee, see, five, nine. I've had nine surgeries on my knees in the last, see, 8, 10, 10-ish years. This is the longest period. This last year and a half, I've gone without having to have a surgery on it. But my surgeon, actually, my orthopedic surgeon retired, and when they did the ligament replacement, he told me all we're trying to do is buy you 10 years before you have to have complete knee replacement. The reason why because insurance wouldn't pay for it, or they wouldn't pay as much. They'd only pay like 60%, as opposed to better than 80% if if I wait 10 years, because they don't see it as medically necessary. Knees are not the only thing, though. I've had my gallbladder removed, both shoulders, back, forearms, both of them. Not replaced, but surgery on the ligaments in my arm here. I'm missing a giant chunk of my arm right here where I'm circling it, my forearm, the muscles and tendons, and I had a replacement. I can't move my fingers. I don't know if you can see that. How my fingers are curved. Don't feel anything in any of these fingers. I can move them though. That's something I couldn't do before the last surgery. My fingers were like curved like that, and all I had was these two fingers, thumb and index fingers, that moved. But at least I have some feeling left now in the palm. These are the people who know it. All the insurance companies, I'm so over them. A lot of times, do I have my tonsils, Francie? Yes, I do. I still have my tonsils, and I never went through I never had a tonsillectomy, or I never had appendicitis, or where they removed the appendix. I've got both of those. But a lot of times, Pipodot, it's not even the insurance company, necessarily like a doctor who is reviewing it. A lot of times, what they do is they, the surgeon, the request to cover, an insurance, for the insurance to cover surgery or something like that, it gets sent out to a secondary company, and it could be just anybody who has the job They have no medical experience at all, no training, nothing at all. And or in a best case scenario, it's an actual nurse who reviews it and says yay or nay on what we'll pay. When my wife had her you know vasectomy, both of her breasts removed, they approved 100% of the surgery, but they refused to pay for the anesthesiologist. And we're like, we want to see what woman is going to go through that surgery and not have anesthesia. But Pippa has got her tonsils. Francie, not you. You got your tonsils removed. Yeah, it is. We had a fight, and the whole time that we had a fight, it delayed the actual surgery. Again, you have to remember she was having it done because she had breast cancer. So before it got to the lymph nodes, they wanted to have the surgery right away, and we had to fight with them for months and months on end before they finally said, "Okay, yeah, you can't have anesthesia to have this surgery done." But that's the insane thing about the entire thing. It's not even a doctor who's reviewing it with the insurance company who's making the decisions on, if can this person have this surgery? Is it an elective surgery? Whatever. But back in the day, they removed tons of tonsils. Yeah, I, out of my family, I think one out of four sisters had their tonsils removed. Just one. I think it was my youngest sister. But gallbladder, all of us except for there was three out of four had our gallbladders removed. Makes me feel horrible for your wife. Well, we're past it now. She's been 10 years. She's past the 10-year mark, cancer free. So, well, from that, she's got other health issues that keep on popping up. But I mean, we all do as we get older, right? I mean, I know very few people that I can think of off the top of my head that it has gone through life and never had any medical issues pop up when they're older. Yeah, getting old sucks. I had someone the other day ask me if I feel my age, and I actually had to stop and think about that. And I'm like, I know I've never been this age before, so I don't know what this age is supposed to feel like. So I mean, everybody gets a finite amount of time on this earth, and none of us know when our time is up, when the clock is run out. So don't know. And something new. Me and my wife yesterday went and tried a restaurant that I'm guessing a billion people have tried. The first time ever, we went to Panera, to the Panera Bread Company or whatever it is. We went and ate at Panera, and we had a little date night. We went to Panera. No, Francie, I am making breakfast right after this. Sprinkle Donut says, "How's your son?" My son is doing as well as he can. He made a little trip to the ER the other day because he slammed his fingers in a window, but he got a little gash on his in his finger. But they just put butterflies on it. But other than that, he's doing good. It's gonna bruise up pretty good. No broken bone, but he's doing well as he can. He's got about a week left of school, and then Then he's done with school for the year, and then he's got 2.5 weeks, or almost 2.5 weeks. It's like 2 weeks and like 3 days, but counting the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And then he has summer school and summer program. Hey, Will, what will you guys do for Memorial Day? Grill out? No, no. Well, thank you, Pippa Dot. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. But to answer Francie's question, no, we're not doing anything for Memorial Day. I'll go lay flowers at the. We have a memorial here for the unknown soldier, and we have a. It's also a World War II and Vietnam and World War I memorial and Korean War. So it's like all in case, memorial. I'll go put flowers there. And then me and my friend will stop by the graves of those we know that have served and have passed on. We got a bunch of those little tiny little American flags, because a lot of the cemeteries here, they're ground level marker only, the newer cemeteries. So they don't allow grave markers that are above ground. And nor do they allow you to put like a vase or anything else on it that is permanent. So that way they can mow it, and it's cheaper for them to just mow right over the top of everything. So we'll put American flags out for them, for the veterans we know that have passed, and that's it. That's all I'm doing for Memorial Day. I'm not golfing. I'm not doing anything. Just chilling at home. I hope if anybody else has got plans, and you plan to do something, I hope you have fun at it. Hopefully you can get together with your friends or family. Kitty Q says she's hoping that she can grill, but it might rain. That's always a bummer. Just don't grill indoors unless you have one of those stoves with a downdraft. Well, thank you, Francie. We do it every year. It's something that we always do. Besides visiting the graves of our friends who have passed, we visit through them throughout the year. It's not like we only do it once a year. If I lived closer to my dad, I would definitely stop by his grave more. But he's 1,300 miles away. My sister will go put a flag in little flag and flowers on his grave. My dad's a veteran as well. My dad served at a missile silo during the Vietnam War. Didn't have any actual in country combat, as some people would say. We're going to do steaks and burgers and brats and hot dogs and corn, all kinds of stuff. Do not want to cook on a stove. Grill my husband will do. Is he one of those that'll grill in the middle of the winter? I got a buddy like that. Doesn't matter if it rains or snows, he grills all year round. Gonna do veggie dogs, have some baked beans and potato salad. Francie, I've got a spot on my grill that is just for veggie dogs and for the Boca burgers for my daughter. We never put meat on it at all, so it never gets contaminated, and it's got its own utensils and everything for just that section. but she loves her veggie dogs. I think the company's called VS, YVES or something like that. That makes the veggie dogs that she likes. He doesn't grill in the winter, but he should. Baked beans. My daughter likes the Bush's vegetarian baked beans. VS, yeah. Or why? How are you're supposed to pronounce that? We raised my daughter to be a vegetarian from birth on, and when she got older, we gave her the option that she could eat meat if she wanted to. And a couple of times in her teen years, she tried it and didn't like it, different things. So she's been vegetarian ever since. She borders on vegetarian vegan, right on the edge there. So, but she likes it. It's up to her. That had to do more with Tom Robbins's book than anything else that me and my wife both read before she was born. Oh, guys, in case any of you buy a bagged salmon at Costco, they found several of the clear worms in a new pack. I'm not sure what they call them. They're probably an intestinal parasite that is in the fish itself. Certain fish like salmon and trout and tilapia, it's very common in them. Um, they'd be gross to eat. I'll give you that, but I don't think that they would be harmful to you if you cook them properly. Ibis, well, whichever, however you pronounce it, though. Still, the hot. I just know the package of hot dogs. I know what they look like and where they are in the health food store when I buy them for. Good morning, Gianna Marie. How are you doing this morning? I hope you had a wonderful week. You're really sick over this? 1 second, I'll tell you who I buy my packaged salmon from. We just happen to have a freezer right outside here. Who makes this? The Atlantic salmon, skin on portion sustainably farmed and raised. What's the name of the company? Oh, Grocery E-Services. But I take it and freeze it like this because that's all it comes. It's already it's vacuum sealed, so there's no air in it at all. And it comes in a little plastic tray that you can reuse. I reuse the actual plastic tray, wash them out, and you can reuse them. And I put dry cat food in them for outside for all the cats who come by my house to eat, which is everyone within a mile. I swear that cats have some kind of phone number. It's like, hey, there's food at this house. So I see cats all the time that they come by, they eat, and then I'd never see them again. But my wife doesn't like seafood at all, anything, fish, shrimp, lobster, nothing. There is no seafood that will cross her lips. So I when I make it, I put it on the I thaw them out and then I put them in the on the grill and I cook them. I will see if I can find that brand. So this stuff that I get, it comes from a a company called they changed their name. They're Just Meat. It's like a subscription service. Just Meat, I think is what they changed their name to. Because they used to be called Fresh Pack, and then and all it was just meat, shrimp, steak, stuff like that. You know, it's a subscription service. Um, I don't know if you can get it at Costco, but I have definitely seen it at Kroger, and it's in the freezer section at Kroger. You can't get it fresh, but it's sustainably packaged that way. Oh, not a problem, Pippa Dot. Uh, I told this story before. Um, uh, we're telling again where all these cats came from. So originally, before me and my wife bought this house, we had seen a house 2 houses over from here that was actually on the market, had the big old wooden sign in front of it for sale. We looked at that house and we liked that house and we actually put in an offer to buy that house. That day that we put the offer in to buy that house, we were told that there were 4 other people who were bidding against each other for that house. And I didn't want to get into a giant, sorry for the wording here, pissing match with other people. So everybody just kept on going on higher and higher. I didn't want to get into that. So we withdrew our offer to be in on the lottery for that house. This house that we have now didn't have, and it was up for sale, but they were actually still finishing cleaning out the house. And it was about a week before they were getting ready to put it on the market. They already hired an agent to put it up for sale. And so, in that aspect, it had an MSL listing, but they didn't have a sign out. Nobody knew it was for sale unless you actually went in and looked at the actual MSL listing number if you could find it. So we paid 100%. We just said, okay, we're not even going to discuss, the price with you. What you're asking for is fair. We'll take it at that price. Now, the house was 2 houses away. A gentleman who lived there had gone into a nursing home, and they still needed to clean that house out because everything was still there in that house. So it was going to be a couple of months before they got that house cleared out while these people were bidding on each other. And the man used to have 20, 25 cats or something like that. I mean, he was the crazy cat man. He had a lot of cats. Well, after they got the house cleared out and they tried to live trap all the cats and then adopt them out through the Humane Society and a couple other nonprofits, they were never able to catch all of the cats. Now, you kind of have to look at the area that I'm in. Surrounding the entire development, all the way around it, is what's called a semi-desert. It's sagebrush and sand, and there's nothing for a good distance. Like technically, it's 8 blocks to the next development. There's nothing here, just roads and sidewalks of development that was never finished. But bordering outside of our backyard fence is desert. All right. So when they couldn't catch all the cats, they were worried that coyotes were going to get them all. Well, another man who lives about a half a block from me directly, so I'm pointing towards where the front of my house is that way. All right. That way about a half a block. He started feeding the cats, and they started going from that house to that house. So they weren't going out towards the desert anymore, where the coyotes were going to get them. And a couple other people built little tiny, houses for them, so they're sheltered, and they were pretty much feral but somewhat tame, at the same time. So when I started feeding all the cats, they started coming from here and there. They go back and forth between the two. Feeds cats, and they come from the alley. Rycart still listening while driving while listening. But That's where all the cats came from. We have four that are adopted that we kind of adopted. That come into the house and they go out of the house, and then the neighbors across the street have two or three, and then the rest of all these cats are just they're kind of feral cats. Um, we we suspect that they've all been spayed or neutered. They've all been fixed because we haven't seen any kittens in the 2+ years that we've been here. So we're assuming all these cats are fixed. We haven't seen any of them again, any little ones. Why not take them all the cats to the Humane Society? Because we have the Humane Society is that we have here locally where I'm at, Francie. They are a no-kill shelter, but they're a small Humane Society. They don't have room for 25, cats or how many there were. I mean, there were a lot of them because that house, when we looked at it, he had feeding stations all over the back of the property, and basically he just cut the bag of food open and then dump it into these big, huge metal containers, for the cats to eat. But the Humane Society couldn't take them all. So we have other nonprofits, like we have another place that's called Bob's Care, Bob's, Bobs, like apostrophe S, Bob's Care, and they take in dogs, cats, gerbils, whatever pets. As people move, they take them in and then adopt them out. They're a no-kill shelter as well, but they're a nonprofit that's paid for by donations from in and around the community. But the Humane Society just couldn't take them all. So, and there's a couple other places like we have another place that's called the Fix Machine, that offers low cost or free spay and neutering services for dogs and cats. So if you're low income, if they base the actual cost for spay and neutering on your actual income and your ability to pay. So it might be $5 to get a dog or cat fixed, if you're on a fixed income, or someone who has more of ability to pay may pay more. So it's a sliding scale. You have one called Noah's Ark. Well, that's cool. But that's why the Humane Society couldn't take all of them. The community stepped up in its place, and they were around before, anyways. But they stepped in. Some people took them as temporary fosters, but they weren't all tame. I guess they're more feral. They sure can't take them all. So sad. But we got them all taken care of, except for the ones that are still here. And we have at least three tomcats that show up at my backyard, by the door, and to eat, and they don't like each other. Boy, do they not like each other! But yeah, nobody knows whose cats they are. If they belong to anybody, they might just be, I guess, again, leftover cats that were never captured from that house. And incidentally, the guy and wife, they have two little boys who bought that house, who eventually ended up winning the pissing match for that house. They have a bull mastiff, a Saint Bernard, and I think he's like the third one. Their dog is like a Rottweiler like mix, because he's got the coloring and shape of kind of like a Rottweiler, but he also looks like he may have like a husky or something in him. They're all big dogs, big. There are limited resources. I'll give you that in my area. I think that's just about everywhere too. There are other, like the people who volunteer through Bob's Care. They go down to by the river where there's a lot of other cats and they feed the cats down there, and they try to mainly capture them. And then once they capture them, they have them neutered, and then they release them back to the area where they caught from. In SoCal, the pound will fix cats, then give them back. Well, that's cool. I think that there's never. Me and my wife used to volunteer with the Humane Society, walking dogs that were there, and also cleaning the cages, and for the cats, changing their beddings, and just petting them, and keeping them so they didn't get too stressed. We used to do that for quite a while, but I mean, even then they didn't. They only have so much money that it comes in. They can only do so much for every animal, and the demographic of where I live, it is not unheard of, at all, to see a swing of 10 to 15,000 people move in and move back out of the area, in any given year. Now, imagine wherever you are, and 10,000 people picked up and moved tomorrow. There are going to be some families in that 10 to 15,000 people who move, who are not going to be able to take their pets, or don't care about their pets. Their pets are not members of their family like they are for so many of us. My pets, or my cats, they're not pets. They're members of my family. And so they abandon these pets. They either dump them at the Humane Society, or animal control, or one of these other nonprofits. Like, hey, I can't take this pet with me to because I'm being moved to Dubai or wherever. And the reason why there's so many people who move, in and out of this area, is because a better than 80% of all of the better paying jobs, and I put that in quotes, is because that we're government contractors. The contract is here today. It could be gone tomorrow, or that contract could be here today and be another 27 years before it runs out. Depending upon what your job is and where you're working. But this is a super clean site that is going to last hundreds and hundreds of years before they ever even make a real dent into it. But and every time they think that they're getting somewhere, they find a whole nother dump, or some other thing that is truly terrifying. It's all part of the Cold War and the Manhattan Project. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to wrap this up. Sorry for ending so shortly today, but I have to go make breakfast for my family, because otherwise they will starve, because they don't know where the kitchen is or how to open the refrigerator. Being sarcastic. They know how to feed themselves, but I'm responsible for actually making them breakfast today. But anyways, I hope that everyone has a great day today, and thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate that. And don't forget, tomorrow we have live trivia. Now, I won't be here in this studio. I will be, doing the trivia from inside of my house. It's just going to be me and my little boy. So there will be periods of time where I will turn the camera off, and you're just going to see just the question. But because I refuse to have him on camera. But tomorrow for trivia, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. Tomorrow's trivia. And it's on quad killers. 4 different killers. You have to match the actual crime or the question to which one of the 4 killers who actually did it. But everyone, thank you again for stopping in, and I hope that you all have a terrific, Memorial Day weekend. If I don't see you, and stay safe out there. So, bye until next time.